When you think about the direction of your life, the most powerful force isn't what's happening around you. It's the vision you carry inside. Vision and dreams are like the blueprint of who you can become. They're not just fantasies or random thoughts. They're the seeds of future reality. Every breakthrough, every innovation, every transformation starts in the unseen world of imagination before it ever shows up in the physical world. But here's the thing, most people shrink their vision to fit their current circumstances. They limit themselves to what feels safe, what feels possible, and what other people will approve of. The problem is that kind of thinking keeps you stuck. Vision is supposed to stretch you, to pull you into places you never thought you could reach. It demands faith because it asks you to trust in what you can't see yet, and that's uncomfortable. Dreams are not luxuries, they're necessities. They fuel perseverance when life throws setbacks your way. When things get hard, when people doubt you, when fear tells you to quit, your dream is what keeps you moving. Without vision, the struggle feels empty. With vision, the struggle has meaning. It becomes the road that shapes you for what you're destined to do. Faith plays a massive role in all this. Faith is the bridge between the dream and reality. You might not have the resources, the connections, or the evidence that it's going to work. But if you hold on and take consistent steps, the path begins to unfold. Faith says, I don't see it yet, but I know it's possible. That mindset turns impossible into inevitable. And here's the truth. Your vision isn't just about you. When you pursue your dreams with conviction, you give others permission to believe in theirs. You inspire, you lead, and you contribute something to the world that no one else could have offered. Vision creates legacy, and legacy outlives us all. Vision is a blueprint because it gives structure and direction to the life you want to build. Without it, people often drift through experiences, taking whatever comes and reacting instead of creating. A blueprint doesn't just appear randomly, it's drawn with intention, and so are the visions that shape the future. When you allow yourself to imagine a life beyond your current circumstances, you begin to sketch the lines of what could be. Every invention, every movement, every breakthrough started as a thought that someone dared to treat as real before anyone else could see it. Vision works the same way in your personal life. It sets the tone for the choices you make, the risks you take, and the sacrifices you're willing to endure. It becomes a map that guides you through the confusion and noise of everyday struggles, keeping you aligned with something bigger than yourself. Think about how an architect builds. They don't just start stacking bricks and hoping it turns into a house. They first design it, measure it, and create a plan so every detail connects. Your life is no different. When you walk without vision, you waste time, you spend energy on things that don't matter, and you accept detours that pull you away from your true potential. But with vision, even setbacks have a place in the plan because they build the resilience and character necessary for the structure you're raising. It doesn't mean the road is smooth or predictable, but it does mean you have a reason for every step you take. A vision also speaks to possibility. It whispers to you about the person you could become if you stayed consistent and disciplined. It shows you glimpses of potential that may not match your current environment, but that's the beauty of it. Vision is never about where you are now. It's about where you're capable of going. When you carry a vision, you stop living only for the moment and start building towards something that stretches beyond today. It draws out courage because you know what's at stake is more than comfort, more than survival. It's the unfolding of a destiny you've dared to dream. The blueprint of vision doesn't just shape what you do, it shapes who you become. Every decision filters through the image of the future you hold in your heart. If your vision is strong, you'll naturally move with clarity. You'll know when to say yes, when to say no, and when to stand firm. You'll have something to return to when confusion or fear tries to cloud your judgment. And as that vision gets clearer, it begins to influence not just your own path, but the paths of those around you. People are drawn to individuals who know where they're going. They feel the strength of someone with direction, and it stirs something inside them. That's why vision is not just personal, it's contagious. It creates momentum that ripples far beyond the original dreamer, becoming a pattern for others to follow, and a foundation for what can be built together. Stretching beyond limits is what separates those who settle from those who step into the fullness of their potential. A true vision isn't meant to be comfortable. It's designed to challenge you, to push you into places that demand growth, and to confront the fears that keep you small. When people shrink their dreams to fit into what feels safe, they end up building walls around themselves instead of pathways forward. Playing it safe may feel secure in the moment, but it robs you of the expansion that comes when you dare to reach further than what you've known. Vision is like a muscle. It only grows when it's stretched. If you never step outside of the familiar, you'll never discover the capacity within you that only reveals itself in uncharted territory. It takes courage to look at a dream that seems far bigger than your current reality and still decide to chase it. Most of the world will tell you to stay where you are to avoid risk, to be realistic. But the problem with being realistic is that it limits you to the boundaries of what already exists. Vision doesn't operate in those boundaries. It operates in possibility. When you stretch beyond limits, you tap into that space where the impossible begins to bend. Fear will tell you it can't be done, doubt will remind you of past failures, and comfort will whisper that you should stay where it's predictable, but vision pushes you to believe there's more on the other side. Every person who has ever done something meaningful has faced the decision to stretch beyond what they thought they could handle. They weren't ready, they didn't have all the answers, and most of the time they lacked the resources, but they stepped anyway. That step into the unknown is where transformation begins. It's not just about reaching the dream, it's about who you become in the process of chasing it. The limits you stretch past today prepare you for the even greater ones you'll encounter tomorrow. Each time you move past fear, your capacity grows. Each time you silence doubt with action, your confidence deepens. Each time you refuse to let comfort keep you stagnant, you build resilience that will carry you further. The stretching isn't just physical or external, it's internal. Your mindset, your discipline, your patience, your ability to persevere, all of these expand when you embrace challenges bigger than you. It forces you to think differently, to problem solve at a higher level, and to develop qualities you never knew you needed. And once you've stretched into a new level, you can't go back to who you were before. You've grown, and that growth becomes permanent. Vision asks you to pay that price because the future you're reaching for requires a stronger, wiser, braver version of yourself. Stretching beyond limits is the only way to meet that version, and it's the only way to live a life that matches the size of the dream planted within you. Dreams fuel perseverance because they provide the fire that keeps you moving when everything around you suggests that quitting would be easier. Life will always bring obstacles, disappointments, and seasons where nothing seems to go according to plan. Without a vision to anchor you, those challenges feel meaningless, like endless battles with no reward. But when you have a dream pulling you forward, the struggle transforms into something purposeful. You start to see setbacks not as dead ends, but as part of the process that molds you into the kind of person capable of carrying the dream to completion. It's easy to be excited at the beginning of a journey when the dream is fresh and full of possibility. Motivation comes naturally when the road is smooth. The real test comes in the moments of resistance, when you've given everything you have and the results don't show up as quickly as you hoped. It's in those moments that most people give up, not because the dream wasn't worth it, but because they lacked the fuel to keep pressing forward. That fuel is the vision you carry inside. When you can see beyond the immediate struggle and picture the outcome with clarity, you find strength that surprises even you. You begin to realize that the pain of pushing through is temporary, but the reward of fulfilling a dream lasts far beyond the struggle. Dreams give meaning to sacrifice. Waking up early, staying up late, working harder than others, and enduring seasons of loneliness make sense when they're tied to something bigger than comfort. If you didn't have a dream, those sacrifices would feel like punishment. With a dream, they feel like investment. You don't mind pouring energy, time, and focus into the process because you know what it's building toward. That's why people with vision can endure more than those without it. They're not just suffering aimlessly, they're building toward a future that their heart has already seen. The perseverance that dreams inspire also protects you against the voices of doubt and negativity. When people question your decisions, when critics laugh at your goals, when even your own mind whispers that you're not enough, it's your dream that drowns out the noise. It reminds you of why you started, and it keeps your eyes locked on what could be instead of what others say will never happen. The more you hold on to the dream, the less power external voices have over your choices. You stop living for approval and start living for purpose. Over time, the act of persevering because of your dream becomes a habit. You develop grit, that rare quality that refuses to break even under pressure. Each step forward reinforces the belief that your vision is worth every ounce of effort. Even the small wins along the way become reminders that progress is happening, even if it's slower than expected. And with every bit of progress, your determination grows stronger, because you've proven to yourself that you can survive what once felt impossible and still move closer to the life you envisioned. Faith bridges the gap between the dream you carry inside and the reality you want to create. A dream on its own is powerful, but without faith it can stay locked in your imagination, never taking form in the real world. Faith is what gives you the courage to take the first step when there is no evidence that the path will work out. It is the belief that even though you don't see the full picture, something greater is unfolding as you move forward. Faith doesn't eliminate fear or doubt, but it gives you the strength to keep walking in spite of them. It allows you to lean into uncertainty with trust instead of hesitation, knowing that the unknown is not a wall, but an open field waiting to be explored. Many people stop chasing their vision because they wait for certainty before they act. They want proof, guarantees, and reassurance before they risk failure. But certainty never comes before action. The bridge of faith must be crossed without seeing the whole way through. It's like walking across a path that only lights up with each step you take. Without faith, the dream remains on the other side, distant and unreachable. With faith, the bridge becomes walkable, one step at a time, even if you can't see the destination clearly. Faith also shifts the way you see setbacks. Instead of viewing obstacles as signs that you should stop, you begin to see them as part of the journey. Faith tells you that just because things didn't unfold the way you imagined doesn't mean they won't work out in a better way. It builds resilience by reminding you that delays are not denials, and that every challenge carries within it an opportunity to grow stronger. This perspective is crucial because without faith, setbacks can look like dead ends. With faith, they look like detours that still lead you toward the vision you hold. The bridge of faith is also what helps you stay consistent when progress feels invisible. Dreams often require long seasons of work where nothing seems to change on the outside. Those are the moments that test your belief the most. Faith whispers that the effort is not wasted, that the seeds you're planting will break the ground in time. It keeps you showing up when logic says to quit, and it sustains your energy when circumstances don't reflect your effort. Faith doesn't just affect your mindset, it shapes your actions. It inspires bold moves, risky decisions, and steps that others are too afraid to take. It opens doors because it pushes you to knock on them, even when you're unsure if they'll open. It attracts opportunities because it makes you walk into rooms with confidence instead of hesitation. Faith builds momentum because it refuses to let you stand still. And over time, it's that combination of steady belief and consistent action that pulls the dream from the invisible into the visible, from imagination into reality. Vision inspires others because it carries an energy that goes beyond words. When someone is truly living out their dream with conviction, it becomes a signal to the people around them that greater things are possible. You don't have to preach it or explain it in detail. People can feel it when you walk with purpose. It awakens something inside of them, a reminder that they too carry dreams and possibilities that may have been buried under fear, doubt, or the demands of everyday life. The power of vision is that it doesn't just transform the dreamer, it has the ability to ripple outward and spark change in anyone who comes in contact with it. When you pursue your own dream with courage, you break invisible barriers for others. You show them by example that limitations can be challenged, that comfort zones can be left behind, and that faith in what's possible is stronger than the fear of failure. People watching your journey may never tell you directly, but your willingness to keep going becomes proof for them that they can start. It's often said that vision is contagious, and that's because it stirs hope in those who have forgotten theirs. Even a single step you take toward your dream can plant a seed of belief in someone else who's been waiting for a sign. The inspiration that comes from vision isn't about perfection or having it all figured out. In fact, it's usually the opposite. People are most moved when they see the raw, authentic pursuit of something meaningful, even with the struggles and setbacks. Watching someone stumble and still rise, fail and still try again, creates a story that others can connect with. It reminds them that chasing a dream isn't about being flawless. It's about refusing to give up. That resilience is what inspires, because it mirrors the battles that everyone faces in their own way. Vision also creates legacy. The moment you begin to live for something bigger than yourself, your actions outlive you. What you build, the lives you touch, the courage you model, these become part of a chain reaction that continues long after you've taken your last step. Think about the people who once dared to dream and how their courage continues to shape lives today. They didn't just achieve personal success, they opened doors for others, creating new possibilities that never existed before. Your vision holds that same potential. By pursuing your dream with unwavering commitment, you give others permission to believe in their own. You might never fully know the impact of your journey, but every time you choose persistence over quitting, courage over fear, and hope over despair, you become a living example of what vision can do. That example carries weight because it proves that dreams are not just fantasies but blueprints for reality. And when one person dares to live theirs, it sparks a light in others that can never be dimmed.